Hey everyone, I'm Will, welcome back to my channel, and how's life going for you in the lockdown? If you're anything like me with my pathological inability to sit still, you're probably losing your goddamn mind with boredom. When I'm bored, I like to read comics, and when I can't buy new ones, I like to take a dive into my collection. It was while deciding what I should go through again that I realized nothing was more deserving of a reread than Dr. Aphra, one of my favorite Marvel comics of all time. Not only is Dr. Aphra, PhD, the best comics original character in the galaxy, she's also my favorite character in the entirety of the Star Wars canon. That's right, folks, I'm making my second comics video in a row, and yet another f***ing Star Wars video. Here we go. Sure, if you don't read a lot of comics, you're probably not very familiar with Dr. Aphra, if at all. A quick introduction. Dr. Aphra is an archaeologist and a criminal with no clear morals trying to escape her past and cheat her way across the galaxy. Created by writer Kieran Gillen and artist Salvador Larroca, Dr. Aphra made her first appearance in Star Wars Darth Vader Issue 3, cover dated March 2015, where she's hired by Darth Vader before she eventually betrays him and fakes her death in order to escape. A little over a year later, she became the first Star Wars character to headline a comic book without appearing in the movies. The book, simply named Dr. Aphra, ran for 3 years and 40 issues, and was pretty damn successful the whole time. But what makes Dr. Aphra, both the character and the series, so special? What sets her apart from the rest of the Star Wars universe and mainstream comics at large? Why am I willing to overlook 43 years of other Star Wars content and hundreds, if not thousands of characters to unequivocally declare her my favorite? Hey! That's amazing. You asked all the questions I was prepared to answer in this very video. I've made my adoration for Star Wars pretty clear. And if there's one thing I've always appreciated in Star Wars more than anything else, it's the lovable rogues. Lord knows I love Poe Dameron, and Han Solo remains one of my favorite characters in all of fiction, a position he has held since the first time I saw A New Hope 16 years ago. Jesus Christ. However, despite having far fewer redeeming qualities than either of them, Dr. Aphra climbs to the top of the pile as the ultimate, most lovable rogue of them all. Aphra is repeatedly awful to all the people who trust her, intentionally betrays everyone she can, and loses friends faster than me in a quarantine. There's just something about her that keeps you rooting for her, no matter what awful thing she's decided to do in this issue. I think for me, it's because I can feel her pain. She's been through a lot, and I won't spoil anything because I desperately want you to read the series. But Aphra has never learned how to effectively maintain healthy relationships. That doesn't, by any means, excuse the awful things she does, but when you're reading it, you understand her. You get why she does bad things, even if they hurt her and the people she cares about. Her issues keeping friends make it even more heart-wrenching when she does something selfless, as opposed to the Heart of Gold rebels who do so many good deeds that you become numb to them. But trust me, the relatable, palpable pain that Dr. Aphra feels isn't the only reason you'll love her. It doesn't hurt her character that Dr. Aphra is f***ing hilarious too. She literally never stops talking, and I've laughed out loud multiple times while reading the series. Something about the way she just betrays everyone so glibly is kind of charming to me. She's so upfront about her interests that you can't help but respect her for it. However, my favorite thing about Aphra is something taken from her obvious inspiration, Indiana Jones. That thing is, she never gives up. She always finds a way to fix the odds, solve a problem, or just keep putting one foot in front of the other. She's a goddamn fighter, and while she doesn't win a lot, she never lets herself lose. Next question, what makes Dr. Aphra so unique? That's right, I'm structuring this video like a 7th grade argumentative essay, and I'm proud of it. One point that I try to get across whenever I talk about comics is how much I value the representation of minority groups in mainstream stories. Aphra is a queer woman of color in a space typically dominated by white, straight characters. Star Wars is wildly popular across generations, and for a whole new group of people, it helps to see themselves represented in their favorite universe. I've made the same argument about Miles Morales and Kamala Khan in the past, and it absolutely applies to Aphra. In her comic appearances, Dr. Aphra is typically portrayed as being Asian, and throughout all of her stories, she is shown to have exclusively dated other women. While it's definitely true that concepts of ethnicity and sexuality are entirely different in a universe of space aliens, it's still incredibly important for young women of color or young members of the LGBTQ+ community to see popular characters that represent facets of their identity. Aphra is unique in her representation of marginalized groups in a world that doesn't seem to feature many of them. I think the bi flag in the background of my Knives Out video made it clear, but I myself am a member of the LGBTQ+ community. As someone who has loved Star Wars since I was 4 years old, it means so much to me to have this cool, kick-ass character that is actually developed that happens to not be straight interacting with the universe I love so much. It helps me believe that if the Star Wars galaxy existed, there would be a place in it for me and my friends. Dr. Aphra is representative of me and so many of the people I care about, but that wouldn't be enough to make her this special on her own. It's her character, the way she's written, the way you can't help but love her despite all the awful choices she makes, the way she's always got a plan or can always come up with one on the spot. Dr. Lona Aphra, PhD, is the single most badass character in the Star Wars canon, and I can say without reservation that she is also my favorite. Sorry, Poe, but it's true. Please read Dr. Aphra. You can find the collected editions at any local comic book store. There's always a locator in the description. And ask that same local comic book store to put her new ongoing series onto your pull list when it starts later this year. So there it is. That's why I love Dr. Aphra so much, and why I'd argue she's the best character in Star Wars. If you agree and want to support, or disagree and need to argue, please feel free to leave a comment below, feed my ego in these dark times by liking the video, and subscribe to the channel if you like my content. Make sure to stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.